All right, here we are back in the studio, my friends, with Project Overkill 2020. Some of you must be bored stiff and not even tuning in because our last video got seen like 43,000 times, which is fantastic. But out of 3 million subscribers, that's pretty pitiful. But what I gotta say about that is I don't really give a shit. I kind of say what I want to say these days, and I have always done YouTube because I love it. And so I'm going to continue to do it because I love it. And if there are people that want to watch along with me, then I think that's fantastic. In fact, that is more people than a stadium can hold. A lot of stadiums. Now, what am I looking at right here? Well, I was talking to you before about having the winch line come through the bumper right here. And everybody thought that was a great idea. But here's why I think it's a bad idea. Depending on how I end up mounting the body, and I have not even got that far yet. People are going to say magnets, Velcro, and everyone's going to say anything but pins, no body pins. But for a tough truck that gets rattled around a lot, either you have a Velcro system with magnets or you have pins, and that's pretty much where you're at. Or you can just screw the body right to the frame. Now, I don't have that kind of option on mine because I've made this so there's no hang-up points. You'll see it's a very slender chassis, so no rock guards or rock sliders, because why get hung up on that when you're in competition? So here we are with this, and what I was thinking is if I did drill a hole through the center here, what would happen is as that winch starts getting pulled over, it would start torquing the body, and this is made of Lexan. And although I did back everything in some Gorilla Tape, which is a type of very strong adhesive, kind of like a duct tape, it kind of deadens that Lexan sound, plus it gives the body some extra flexibility and again rigidity, even though that sounds a little bit like an oxymoron. You can hear it's more solid. So there is that. And so what I would like to do is, this is an old RC four-wheel drive Galenda 1, the first edition. This is an old bumper that I had way back in the day, or maybe it was a Galenda 2, I can't remember right now, but it was a long time ago. I have not used this, and it's been in my drawer for a long time. But there's a few problems with this one in particular. Number one, the good thing is that it's conformed. It comes around the side, plus it also lifts up, giving me some good clearance. The bad thing is where's my FAiRLEAD? Right here. Here's the FAiRLEAD. It never came with a FAiRLEAD, and it was just kind of an open gap, and what you do is you just mount the whole winch and everything behind there, and the FAiRLEAD would be like that. Right? And I was thinking to myself, well, I could build a mount back there that could do that, which is possible, or I could kind of fill this hole in itself and then mount the FAiRLEAD on the outside, but you'll see it's just a hint too small to be mounted up there, so it would need some holes drilled and blah 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 and brackets, and so that's what I want to work on today. But number one, I need to figure out a way to mount this bracket, or this whole mounting point. How many times can I say mount? Make this a drinking game. Every time I say mount, you guys got to take a shot. I need to do this to the ultra skinny frame. I showed the difference between this frame and an Axial SCX10, and it's about that much of a difference, about 1/2 inch it seems to be. Now here is a little trick that I'm going to show you. Everybody may find this helpful. So I see that there's 2 holes here. Now I could use some calipers or you know, some sort of measurement. It's not like I have anything on hand like most RC people, which everybody will laugh at, but for this experience I want to show you. Beautiful. Just going to take a piece of that straight tape, put it right over where the holes are. Just going to use a little pin here. There's a hole. There's a hole. That's what she said. Come on. RC is supposed to be fun. So there we go. There's all 4 holes. Now all I need to do is transfer this over to my bracket where I want to drill those holes. Ta-da! Now I can go and drill exactly where those mounting holes are going to be, but I can also cut this off as well. And why wouldn't I use a cutting blade? Because a little manual labor doesn't hurt anybody. Okay, now I like what I'm seeing. So just a small bracket. I have all 4 holes there to be drilled. I will be able to use the brackets or the pre-drilled holes. That's awesome. And I'll have to draw a center hole, or drill one, I mean, right in the middle, which is fine, which is the way the wire can be done through. Yes. Now how's that gonna line up with the body overall? Like if it was right there. And that's it. So I'm going to cut that front body, that front bumper off. I think that's going to fit just fine. Action. I know you're all staring over there anyway. And let's see, not 100% perfect, but pretty dang close. So all I have to do is now mount this up to the frame using those existing holes and run the winch line through the middle. Then I can use these other 4 holes on the bottom to mount it up to the bumper. So a viewer asked me, what do I use to put my wire on here? Like, how do I remove the hook so easily? And it's just a little collar and grub screw, and then I run like a sheathing over on the outside of it so it doesn't fray. But this stuff is covered in nylon anyway, but you know, you could take a little extra care with it, just like, come on, there we go. Just like that, so everything's protected. But since I want to remove it, all I have to do, grab the grub screw, make sure I've got a good firm grip on it, slide it up, and then I have the wire free, like that. I'm going through and rummaging through my parts tray here where all my hardware, screws and stuff are, and it made me wonder, I wonder how many of you guys out there also have a parts bin of screws and all the, you know, odds and ends. Post up right now in the comments section if you guys have a tray similar to this. Or let me know what you do have. Does this drive you crazy as an OCD person? I do have other drawers of screws. This is just more of a catch-all for when I need the odds and ends. And it's always the hard one that you need, right? Oh my God. That's what she said. Come on, I can't leave that low-hanging fruit. And then back to the arm workout. Well, a screw up and a genius design at the same time. Now, here is the FAiRLEAD. What I was building was actually like a back plate. Then I was going to expand the hole slightly. And then when I went to drill the holes for the plate, I misdrilled the hole 3 millimeters too high. I know, I'm embarrassed showing you, but at the same time, as soon as I did that, it showed me that I could actually make a pinch point on top, and this FAiRLEAD isn't going anywhere. So once the hole was drilled, that's already too late. I'll probably try to distract your eye with some red D-rings or something here, but this will work. So now I can go ahead and mount that up and run the winch line right through the middle. Ta-da! There it is. Now that chrome FAiRLEAD needs to be painted black probably. But for the time being, it's mounted, it's solid, it's good to go. Now here comes the big wrist. Once cut, you can never really go back. So, what I'm going to do is use my Lexan scissors. Like I said, I already have Gorilla Tape around the back, so it kind of helps the paint from coming off of the Lexan as well. I did use a P as in Peter, S as in Sam, Tamiya paint on here, or Tamiya, or Tamiya, or however you'd like to say that. Who remembers the original Overkill project? Were you with me when I did the painting tutorial and there was a dog taking a shit in the background? And I didn't notice when I was editing. And yeah, that was an epic moment for me in that build for sure. I thought, how hilarious of life that when you're like filming yourself for thousands of people to watch, you get a dog dropping a deuce in the background. All right, now there it is, unpainted and now attached to the chassis. Not a bad looking bumper. Let's look at it from the front. FAiRLEAD could use a little work, but I don't mind using some old items from older vehicles on Project Overkill. I think it's kind of appropriate actually. A couple of lights in the front here would look nice if I string them in. Now, I already took the front bumper off of the front of Overkill. Let's have a look. I think some of you will love it, and I think some of you will hate it, and I think there'll be people in between, and that's why this hobby is great as what it is. Everybody can do what they like to do. Look at that. What a perfect bumper. It kind of fit perfectly for the front of the Now wait a minute, I took the battery off to have a look, and although this juts out forward quite a bit, I wonder if I can actually mount it behind, because this is threaded on both sides right here. And I bet you, since I don't have to have a winch here, I can get away with just 2 mounting screws and maybe even drill some underneath there. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can move this behind here. But if I did that, I'm going to have to cut these walls skinnier so I can get in behind the frame. Like this almost clears it, but not quite, and this one doesn't, so I'll have to cut it down a little bit more. Okay, so there is my modded piece. Pretty shitty compared to some standards, but for me it works just fine. And what I want to do here is remove this center beam like that, and basically take that cable out, put this like this, like that. God, is that going to fit? It may not. I might have to drill. That's okay, that's okay. And then here it is attached to the center beam. Center beam gets the winch line to go through the center and then slides into place. Oh, did I give it enough clearance on the bottom? Ah, I need more room. And it slides in like that. That darn winch cable. Oh yeah, so now it is mounted behind this beam. A little greasy from all the lubrication, but look at this. Even painted up the bumper a little bit. Still need to paint over the FAiRLEAD, but now it is mounted nice and perfectly straight and nice and solid to the chassis. Let's try this again, shall we? Look at this. Now I've moved it. I actually was able to get the right angle for the bumper. Look at where the battery comes to and where the bumper is situated now. Look at that. Now we go over here because I wanted to maintain my wheelbase. Look at this. Everything is on point. This may not look like it's on point, but it is just because it's kind of a weird angle for you, but it is certainly, like there, that is right in the middle. And look at this. The front bumper now tucked squarely away under the grille where I think it should have been. I'm glad to see that I was able to have a little bit more thought into that even while I was filming, kind of change it up mid-film, because that is how I think it should look. Before it looked like it had a big lower lip sticking out. I may have to trim the body just slightly more just to kind of go with the contour here. But there you go, guys. All of that work, was it worth it? I think it was. Let me know what you think in the video comment section down below. You guys know I love hearing from you guys. And I know everybody's stuck inside right now, this time of year, of course. maybe you should be building yourself an RC, or stop procrastinating and start doing the maintenance you've been putting off for all that time, hey? The summertime is around the corner and I'm ready to rock and roll. I still have a few things to do on Project Overkill, so if you're like me, go ahead, stay inside and build a truck for weeks on end because you just love to do the hobby and entertain your friends that are with you on YouTube and all around the world. Let me know where you're watching from, my friends, and we'll see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Now get outside and have fun with RC. See you next time.